Hey, we're going to work on 7.1 today. Our objective is to be able to use area models and partial products to multiply mixed numbers. So we're going to show you how to do that today. I can solve real world problems involving multiplication fractions, including mixed numbers. That is our goal today. So let's start with our mental math here. So we have a couple fractions to add together. So remember, when adding fractions, you must have a common denominator. And I can see obviously here I do not, but my least common denominator, my quick denominator would be 4. So I could multiply the numerator and denominator by 2, and I get 2/4 plus 1/4, which equals 3/4. So again, you have to have a common denominator when adding fractions. So if I look here, I can see when I write it out that I have 1/4 plus 3/8. Obviously, I do not have a common denominator. Again, 4 and 8. I could convert this, multiply top and bottom by 2, and I get 2/8 plus 3/8, and I get 5/8. So that all should be a review, things that we've done before. But just to remember, because sometimes we get confused between multiplication of fractions and addition. So you can go ahead and do those. So 2/3 plus 1/4. So think about what your common denominator is going to be. Remember, you must change the numerator and denominator. Can't do one without the other. And look at 3/4 and 2/5 there. Practice with that at home. And here you can see there's 3 fractions. So again, you want to look at those denominators. You have 3, 4, and 12. Here you have 4, 6, and 24. So you'll have to change all of those. Okay, so when you look here, it says talk with a partner about how the area model your teacher has displayed represents 28 multiplied by 6. Then work with your partner to draw an area model that represents 4 2/3 multiplied by 7. Obviously, you probably don't have a partner at home, but let's look at this together. You can see here, I split up the 28 into tens and then to ones. And over here, I just was multiplying it by a digit in the ones place. So I split it that way. So let's try 4 2/3 multiplied by 7. So let's look. What we did here, we had a 4 in the ones place, and then 2/3 in the fraction part multiplied by 7. Now, I can actually use that model to help me multiply my mixed number by a whole number. So we're going to look at that. Okay, so let me model how I could solve this thing about partial products. So we've already split it up by place values, and I can look here and I could say, oh, sorry about that. I could say 7 times 4. Let me erase this line. I could say 7 times 4 is 28. And then I have to multiply 2/3 times 7. I'm going to put my whole number over 1 because same thing as 7. It makes it easier for me to multiply. And I get 14/3, which then I want to convert it by dividing to back to a mixed number. So let's say 3 times 4 is 12. I get a remainder of 2, and I keep the same denominator, so 4 2/3. So in this box, I put 4 2/3. When I add those two to get 2 boxes together, I get 32 2/3. And so that's what we're going to be practicing today, using the area model to multiply there. Okay, so now I'll model 1/3, 1 3/4, and 2 1/3. So when I make my box here, I have 1, and I have 3/4 in the fractional part. And then down here, I have 2, and then I have 1/3. So if you notice this time, I have a mixed number on the second one, so I have to split up the box. So I would just go to start at the left and work over. So 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 3/4, so I do over to the side. And I get 6/4, which you can divide that out and find out what it is as a mixed number. Remember, we're writing our remainders as a fraction. So I get 1 2/4. So 1 2/4. And then look over here, I do 1 times 1/3, which is simply 1/3. And then I do 1 3/4 times 1/3. I get 3/12. Now what I want to do is I want to add up all of those boxes together. But one thing I notice here is I have thirds, I have twelfths, and I have fourths. So I know I'm going to have a common denominator in order to do that. And you can see down here in this box, they got the same things that we did there. But now again, to add all those together, we have to be able to convert them to a fraction. Or sorry, with a common denominator. So 1/3, I'm going to change 1/3. Let's see, I have 12, so I'm going to change that to 12. 3 times 4 is 12, and 1 times 4 is 4. So I'm going to check that one, plus the 3/12. I'm going to check that one. And then I have 2/4, so I got to convert 2/4 to 12ths. I know 4 times 3 is 12, so 2 times 3 is 6, or 2 is half of 4 and 6 is half of 12. So I can add those together, and I get 13/12. Plus I got to add in my whole number there, so 13/12 plus 2 equals 2 and 13/12. Or I could convert that and say I know that 12 can go into 13 one time, so I get 3 and 1/12. Now, doing it this way is a lot of work, but it is possible. So we'll revisit that and do some more practice. Okay, so let's try these two together. So everybody go ahead and make a box. So first I'm going to make a box. So first I'm going to write this up here. I'm going to split it up. I have ones and then I have a fraction, so 2/5. Over here I have 5 and then I have 1/3. So I know 5 times 3 is 15. And then I'm going to do 5 multiplied by 2/5. And I get 10/5. 10 divided by 5 I know is 2. So I'm going to go ahead and just make that 2. Then I go down here and I say 3 multiplied by 1/3. I know that's going to be 3/3, which is equal to 1. And then I'm going to do 2/5. I'm going to erase this here so I have a little bit of work room. Then I'm going to do 2/5 multiplied by 1/3. And I get 2/15. And then I simply would just add those together. So I would say 15 plus 2 is 17, plus 1 is 18, and then plus the 2/15. So 18 and 2/15 would be my product. Okay, so again, you're just multiplying. You take the 2 together. So you always start at the left and you look over to the right. So you go across there, go down here, go across, and then go across again. So let's look at one more here. So we're going to do 4.5 by 5/6. So 4.5 multiplied by 5/6, and I get 9/2 multiplied by 5/6, and I get 45/12. Now, I didn't actually use the area model there though, but let's go back and do the area model now. So I was showing you quickly another way. We'll do that. We'll actually work on that in the next lesson. But here's 4 and then 1/2. And then over here I had 5. Let's see, what was the original problem? 5/6. So over here I don't have to put a line through it because I'm doing 5/6. I'm not splitting up a fraction. There's no whole number there. So the first one is 4 multiplied by 5/6. And I get 26. But I want to go ahead and convert that to a mixed number. So I'm going to divide. And I know the 6 times 3 is 18. And I have 2 left over. So in my denominator is 6. So I'm going to say 3 and 2/6. Then I have to do the next one here. Now I'm going to do 5/6 times the 1/2. So 1/2 multiplied by 5/6. I get 5/12. Uh-oh. I see when I go to add the two boxes together, though, the two values, that over here I have 2/6 and over here I have 5/12. Well, I want to make this into 12, so I'm going to multiply the numerator and denominator by 2, and I get 4/12. So then I have 3 and 4/12 plus 5/12, and I get 3 and 9/12. So my product will be 3 and 9/12. So just to review there, you break it up. So this will have its own box. This will have its own box. This will be on the side. And so then you just multiply across there, just like we've done with other area models, but this one's with mixed numbers. Okay, so you're going to try in your math journal on pages on problems 1 through 3 there, page 233. Let's look at the directions for multiplying the mixed numbers. It says, use the rectangle to make an area model. Label the sides and list the partial products. Label the partial products in the area model. Add the partial products to find your answer. You may need to rename fractions with a common denominator, just as we did. So I'm going to help you set up the first area model, and then I'm going to let you work on the rest of these on your own. So I see I have 3, and then I have 1/8. And then I have on the side 4. And I don't have to split it across because I'm only doing the 4 across. So 3 times 4 I know is 12. And then 1/8 times 4. And I always put my whole number over 1, just helps me remember. And I get 4/8. So then I add my two products together. So 12 plus 4/8 is 12 and 4/8. So you're going to try the rest of those on your own using the area model. Then when you get here, let's look at problems 4 through 5. This is write a number model using a letter for the unknown. Remember, the unknown would be your answer. Then solve. Show all your work. Remember to include units in your answers. Vikram is baking bread that calls for 3 3/4 cups of flour. If he only makes 1/4 of the recipe, how much flour will he need? So he has 3 3/4 cups, but he only needs 1/4 of the cup. So I know I'm multiplying. How much flour will he need? So I'm going to write it below here. So I know he needs 1/4 of the 3 3/4 that he has. So I'm going to do 3 3/4 here. And I'm just going to say F for flour. You can put whatever letter you want. And you're going to solve that. So you're going to say 1/4 multiplied by 3 3/4, because we need to know how much he is going to use when he only uses 1/4 of the flour that he has. Let's look at the next one here, and then you can solve it. Gina is cleaning her closet and wants to know how much floor space she has. Her closet is 3.5 feet by 4 1/3 feet rectangle. What is the area? So when I see area and I see by, I automatically know that I'm going to be multiplying. So I would say 3.5 multiplied by 4 1/3. And I'm just going to say A for area. And then you would actually go through and solve that. So 3.5 multiplied by 4 1/3 equals A. On the last part here, you're going to write a number story that can be solved by multiplying 1 4/5 times 6. So maybe you think of something like you have 6 apples and you eat 1 4/5 of them. Or you have 6 cookies and you give away 1 4/5 of them. Or you have 6 gallons of gas and you only use 1 4/5. So think of something where you have 6 and you used 1 4/5 of it. And then you're going to write a number story or a story problem. Then the next thing there is just review with line plots. So you're going to go through on that page and work on that as well. So it says the Meadowbrook Nature Center has 12 hiking trails. Below is the length of each trail in miles. And remember, for your line plot, you're just going to use X's. So I'll just mark the first one here with you. So 1 3/4. I know this is 1.5, so this would be 1 3/4. So then I would just put a check that I did that one. And then 1 1/4 is over here, so I put a check. And each time that occurs, you mark it. You're going to use those line plot results, and you're going to answer the questions below. So take some time to look at those. You must have the line plot done to be successful on the rest of that. So you see you have the questions about the line plot there, and that is the end of our lesson.